What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 6, Episode 11, Bettie Blues. So the episode starts off with the continuation of the Black Expo / comeback group meeting. So Marceau thinks that he could fool them by making them believe that this is just a Letitia and Marceau event, and y'all are going to be helping us out as we give back to the community. Whereas Kimmy is like, you know what? This is the comeback group. This is the comeback group. And the only difference now is that Letitia and Marceau have kind of appointed themselves as the leaders. So Kimmy's like, you ain't fooling nobody. So, and I kind of believe that this is the comeback group under a different name. And Kimmy's like, just be for real about it and call it, well, I forgot the term that she used. It's like an extension of the comeback group. So somewhere in this, you need to mention how this is still the comeback group and stop with the nonsense that it's just the Black Expo and it's just a Letitia and Marceau event. So Mel calls out Letitia because they're putting a lot of pressure on Mel. Like, are you going to be there? We need you to promise us that you're going to be there. If you're not going to be there, you need to tell us. Because Melody said that on that particular day of the event, that she's got something else going on. But she will join in remotely. And I think they wanted her, Marceau was really putting the pressure on her to appear in person, to physically be there. And then Mel was like, hold up. First of all, when the meeting started, Letitia just kind of bulldozed everybody over by saying, number one, nobody was getting paid. And that's just that. That's the bottom line. Don't argue. We're not going to discuss it. And number two, saying that Mel could not participate remotely. And so this is a meeting where we're all supposed to have discussions and try to compromise and try to come up with a plan that, you know, most of us can be happy with. But Letitia is already like, nope, we're not doing that. Nope, we're not doing that. So the meeting ends unresolved. Moving on from there, Melody meets up with Nell to go to take a pole dancing class. And after the class, Nell was asking Melody about, you know, her personal life. Like, oh, so what did you do for Valentine's Day? Well, Melody was out with her new boo thing for Valentine's Day, but she doesn't want to talk about, you know, she's not going to reveal who he is. We're not going to know anything about him. She likes to do the little teasers online where she's posting an elbow, a pinky finger, a big toe, but not really showing us who he is because she wants people guessing because she thinks this is interesting. I don't think that's interesting at all. If you don't want us to know, girl, it is your business, but stop posting things expecting people, like you're waking up people's curiosity and then you're shutting it all. Oh, I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm going to make y'all care. Like, girl, don't do that. If you don't want to talk about him, then don't talk. Just like when people have a new baby, like especially celebrities, when they have a new baby and they don't want to show the baby, they show us like the foot of the baby or the baby grabbing onto someone's face. Like, I don't want to see that. If you don't want to show your baby, don't show your baby. So Mel, if you don't want to show your new man, just don't show him. Don't talk about him. Don't bring him up. But this whole thing of, I'm going to give you just a little bit just to kind of get you to start asking me questions, but then I'm going to shut you down. No, I don't want to play those games. So Nell respects her privacy. She doesn't dig too deep, but Mel does say, and I think she really wanted to get this out, that this new man in her life has proven to be all the things that she could ever want in a man. She said that he checks off everything on her list. And she says that he is the 3 P's, the 3 most important P's to her, which is professor, protector, provider. And she said what she was really missing in her marriage to Martell was the protector part. He was not her protector. He was her worst enemy. She said that she realized later on in her marriage that she was literally sleeping with the enemy. So she likes to have a man, or she's happy that she found a man who really does have her best interest at heart. And he's there to protect her, to make sure that she's good. He checks on her. You know, he comes in between her and the BS of the world. So that's wonderful. So we're all really happy happy for Mel. And she talks about also the whole comeback group thing and this, you know, Black Expo event. And she tells Nell that she's not really ready to jump in 100% into this. You know, she'll be kind of like, she wants to be like in the background, giving people advice, helping the others, but not really be full force in it 100%. Moving on from there, we have Letitia and Marceau. They're looking at apartments because they're getting their house renovated. And so they have to stay in an apartment temporarily while their house is being renovated. And they're in this house, this temporary house, because they're waiting for Letitia's dream house to be built, Scott's Manor, which right now is just a pile of dirt. So Marcel comes up with this idea. He tells her, well, how about me and MJ, which is their 16-year-old son, stay at the house to help out with the renovations because, I'm going to be there most of the time anyway. So I might as well just stay there and MJ can help me. And then you and the girls will stay in the apartment. And Letitia was like, oh, no, hell no. It's not going to work out like that. Why not, Letitia? To me, that kind of made sense. Instead of him having to go back and forth, he can just stay at the apartment, and take care of whatever needs to be taken care of over there. I don't know why she didn't like the idea. Your man don't cheat, right? He's a perfect husband. So what's the problem? She's like, no, we're going to stay together as if. Why? It's temporary, Tisha. It is temporary. I don't understand. He's going to be coming back and forth anyway. He's not just going to not see you and the girls at all. I didn't understand why she made such a big deal about that. And so he was trying to explain to her why it makes sense for him to do that. She didn't want to hear it. And so he told her, well, if you are not going to let me stay over there where it's going to be more convenient for me to help with the renovations, then you're going to pay for half of the labor and I guess material, I don't know, to hire a crew to do all of that, to assist me. And she was like, whatever, Marcel, whatever, I don't understand these people. Let's just move on from the craziness. Marceau and Courtney, they meet up, and this whole scene here to me was just to show the world that the Scotts are doing extremely well because the plaza that they own, they have black. They have Black the lounge. They're going to do the vegan restaurant thing, or let the vegan food truck use their property, rent out their property to put their food truck on. And now they're going to have a barbershop. So him and Courtney met up on the site of this new barbershop that's going to be renting out space at the Scotts Plaza. And that's why I think this scene was the way it was. Because in other words, why are we, the conversation that Courtney and Marceau had about hiring family and firing family, that could have taken place anywhere, but it had to, anyways, whatever. So in other words, I think the Scotts are just flexing to the world like, hey, look how successful we are. We have all these businesses renting from our property. So we're making money hand over fist. Congratulations. So Courtney tells Marceau that he had to fire Stormy's cousin because he was not doing what he was supposed to be doing. He was definitely lacking. And now Junior, the cousin, has been keeping his distance from both Stormy and him. And they were all really, really close before they got into this whole business arrangement. And so Marceau tells Courtney, look, I've been down that road many times. I've hired and fired family. I had to fire my own brother Maurice when he wasn't up to par in the business that we were in. So yeah, I've been down that road. And I think Marceau's advice was just don't do it. Leave family and business separate. Don't commingle the two. Moving on from there. Now we have Mel and Letitia. They meet up because Letitia says she wants a definite, concrete answer from Melody on whether or not she is going to participate in the Black Expo. So when they meet up, they first start talking about family, small talk about family and children. And Melody tells Letitia how this week Marceau has the children. And so Letitia was like, oh, so how's that working out? The week on, week off thing. Melody was like, oh, it's fine. We've been doing it for 3 years, so we're used to it now. She didn't want to go into the details, the gruesome details that Martel is dragging her back into court trying to fight for custody for his kids. She doesn't really trust Letitia with that type of information. So Letitia says that Mel really wasn't present at the meeting. I don't understand where that came from because Mel was definitely present when she talked about getting her checks. What are you talking about? And you took her idea with the whole sponsorship thing. She was so present that you stole her idea about having the event, the Black Expo event, sponsored. But to hear you tell it, Letitia, she wasn't really saying much of anything. So Mel says, well, a lot has happened, and she can't really just jump right in and be very, all enthusiastic about this because of their history. And especially after what went down at the reunion. Letitia says some really ugly, awful, offensive, hurtful things to Melody. She said that she had a dark soul. She called her a devil in sheep's clothing. She mocked her with the puppets. So now, after you dragged her through the mud at the damn reunion, you humiliated her, you offended her. Now you want her to jump into your event without getting paid and just be all hunky-dory, big old silly grin on her face, clapping. Yes, I want to do all that I can for you, Letitia. I want to sacrifice my time, my energy, my expertise, my knowledge for your event, Letitia, so that you can further your career. Yes, Letitia, I'm here. You want her to act like that after the way you treated her on the reunion? Girl, are you serious? So I loved how Melody put her in her place and said, look, if you don't see me, turning cartwheels for you, it's because of how you treated me at the damn reunion. Let's not forget. And Melody says that she is still willing to participate, but she wants to participate in her own damn way. She can do it remotely, and she wants to be more so behind the scenes. So what else do we have to talk about? They're trying to convince. Oh, and another thing. I'm pretty sure this whole meeting, it wasn't like Letitia was really concerned about Melody and, girl, you really weren't present at the meetings. Everything okay? It wasn't nothing like that. They want to convince Melody to participate because Maurice won't do it unless all 6 members of the comeback group are involved. And if they lose Maurice because they don't have Melody, they may also lose Kimmy. So this is the whole reason why. But I thought, Letitia did a poor job. Melody already said she's going to do it, but she just wants to do it her own way. Moving on from there, we have Stormy. And man, was it thunderstorming in this scene. So she's at home with her mom, Bettie. And Bettie's sister, Stormy's aunt, Junior's mother, comes over, and Junior as well. And they're going to have a family meeting because, Stormy fired Junior. And of course, Aunt Lisa felt some kind of way about her baby being fired when she felt like, their family or whatever. So the conversation started off about Stormy firing Junior, and Aunt Lisa did not like how her sister Bettie had told her the news about her son being fired by Stormy. She was like, oh, she was just so cavalier about it. Like, oh, did you hear that your son got fired, or Stormy fired Junior because he wasn't, up to par? So she didn't like how her sister told her the news. She wanted her sister to have been a little bit more sympathetic and to kind of ease her into the information instead of just blurting it out like it really didn't mean anything. So that's what kind of got things started. So from there, talking about Stormy firing Junior, it quickly escalated to Stormy. This is what Miss Bettie, Stormy's mom, said. She was like, well, I feel some kind of way that your son, treated my daughter, whatever. He really wasn't there for my daughter, really wasn't trying to help her out with her business after my daughter spent $15,000 to get him out of jail. So when she said that, Miss Aunt Lisa wasn't going to let that slide. She was like, well, my son's been in jail. Your daughter's been in jail. So what's tea? And Stormy said in her confessional, well, okay, I really didn't want this news to come out this way. But yes, I did spend a couple of days in jail, but it got dismissed. So the two sisters are just going at it, right? And it got bad. It got really bad. Stormy says that there's a deeper issue between the two women. And according to Stormy, she thinks that the real issue between the sisters is that when their father got sick, there was some type of issue with who was going to step up and take care of their dad. So it ended up being Stormy's mom, Miss Bettie. She's the one that stood up and decided to be the one, to take care of their father. I don't know if the father is still living or if he passed away, but I have a feeling that he probably passed. I don't know for sure. If he did pass away, I have a feeling that there were some money issues involved with the inheritance. Maybe Miss Bettie felt like, if the father passed away or when he passed away, she should have gotten a bigger portion than everybody else because she was the one taking care of him. The siblings were probably like, oh, hell no, we're going to divide it out equally. I have a feeling it has something to do with who's going to take care of daddy and what's going to happen with daddy's money when he's gone. It's got something to do with money somewhere. Or maybe Stormy's mom was getting money for taking care of him and the other sibling. I don't know. But it had to be more than just she volunteered to take care of their dad and now they don't get along. There has to be something more involved. So the mom or the sister, they hate each other. They're not getting along. Aunt Lisa's like, I'm through with you. I don't want to talk to you no more. Stormy's trying to like, hey, y'all can't be like this. Y'all are sisters. Y'all are family. You have to try to make it work. Neither one of them wants to make it work. The sister, she's outside. Stormy's trying to console her aunt. Then at the end of it all, Aunt Bettie comes and, trying to see what the hell's going on. Aunt Bettie is too involved with Stormy and Stormy's life. For example, because not only do they have the issue with the father, taking care of the father, whatever was going on there, but I think there's also some type of competition issue with the children. I think that, maybe Stormy's mom feels like, my daughter's doing better than everybody else and y'all have to treat her as such. She's just way too involved in Stormy's life because when they were having the meeting before everything went left, it was Aunt Bettie doing most of the talking about Stormy firing Junior and why she fired Junior. And that's why her sister was like, wait a minute, whose business is this? Is it your business or is it Stormy's business? Because you got a lot to say for something that's got nothing to do with you. And just like when Melody had the tea party, it was Miss Bettie that got things on and popping when she told Melody, well, I hear that you got a problem with my daughter. She's a real mama bear. And maybe because, she's an only child, and I can kind of relate to this a little bit. When you're an only child, your mom and your dad too are very, very protective of you because you're their only child. So I understand where Miss Betty's coming from. Like, this is my only child. I'm going to be there for her. I'm going to protect her. I'm going to stand up for her, which is beautiful. But you're going to have to let Stormy handle some things by herself because it's causing a conflict. When it's causing a conflict with other family members and her friends, you need to kind of step back, Miss Betty. But Miss Betty is one mean mama. That woman is mean. Okay, she was really mean. Like, she didn't give two flips about her sister. She didn't care if she never saw her sister again. That's why you should never mix business with pleasure. Stormy, you should never, ever, ever had hired your cousin Junior to work for you. That was just going downhill fast. If you want to help out, loan him some, I don't know, you shouldn't even give him some money. If you needed money, just give him the damn money. You got... she can do whatever she wants with her money. She doesn't have to give anybody her money. But what I'm saying is, if you felt it in your heart to help out your cousin, having him work for you was not a good look. It was not going to work out. So if you really felt it in your heart that you wanted to help him, either give him money for him to start his own opportunities or lead him towards somewhere where he can, get his own opportunities, get a good job somewhere, make some good recommendations for him, or give him a little bit of money to start up his own business, something like that, where y'all are not so intertwined on a daily basis. But anyways, that's it. That's all I got to say. And I said too much. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, go ahead and subscribe, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.